Me? Okay, go for it.
All right, welcome to Team Empower. We're so excited that you are here with us on our call. Today we're going to talk about something that we think is super important. But before we do that, we want to start with announcements. So let me just click over here so I can be reading these. A second. Come to the bathroom. Sorry. I unmuted myself on that last part. Oh, my daughter has been in her room because quite the day today. Okay, so our announcements. The biggest one is the All Access Challenge Pack is on crazy sale. Like, I didn't even know that it was on sale until someone purchased it and they said I only paid $160, and I was like, crap, they bought the wrong one. And then I jumped on to look, and I could not believe it's $160. You guys.
Yeah, I paid $199.
Yeah. Stephanie, when I signed up with my challenge pack, I signed up with Shalane Extreme in Shakeology, and I paid $180, and I got one program in Shakeology.
Yeah.
$160, and you get every program for a year. Like, that's blowing my mind. That's such an amazing deal. So, okay, and if you hit Success Club 5 this month, which means you get 5 Success Club points, you can get 2 with a challenge pack, or 2 if you help someone with Shakeology on HD. Really what I aim for is just 3 challenge packs. It makes it easier. But if you hit Success Club 5 this month, as well as you get your 90 PV, which comes from purchasing your Shakeology, then you get, the reward is a Beachbody branded backpack. So that's kind of fun. And let's see, there was one more I was thinking of. Super Saturday is coming up this Saturday, so you can jump on your back office. I showed you how to do that. There was another one. Oh, those of you going to Summit, hey, you know the rules. Okay, you still have your consequence. Thank you, sweetie. I love you. Okay, those of you going to Summit, if you get a combination of 20 Success Club points between April and May, then you get an invite to the Success Club party at Summit. So just a combination, no matter what it is, I believe. So yeah, those are the announcements. Okay, so for today's call, we're just going to jump right in.
Hold on, really quick. I just wanted to say this too. I heard it on the National Wake Up Call that Shalene just did, and she was talking about the All Access Challenge Pack being on for 160. And she's like, you guys, I have over, I think she said 70 workouts on Beachbody On Demand. She's like, that's like 50 cents a workout. And so it's just like insane with how many workouts we get and how cheap it is. I just thought that was a crazy statistic, that it was like 50 cents for a workout that you pay for one time and you get forever. So
that is
tidbit there.
How many workouts there are total, and then we could figure out how much every workout is.
So many, because there's not just the programs, but then there's also all the super trainers, the extra ones, like there's tons. So, or the not super trainers, the master trainers. So anyway, sorry, continue.
So today when Lacey and I were talking about what we feel like you guys could all benefit from, the first thing that came to our mind was to talk about rejection. Because rejection is kind of hard to swallow, and it's something as a beginning coach that, well, you always get rejection, whether you're a beginner coach or an experienced coach. It's just harder to deal with as a beginner coach because you're still lacking confidence, right? So we wanted to talk about rejection, and first off, tell you how normal it is for people to not join you. You know, you're gonna get people to join you for like free groups, but when you start extending invites, you are gonna get a lot of no's. You know, from our experience, you get more no's than yeses. And we want to say first thing, we want you to understand that they are not rejecting you. Okay, they're just saying not now to what you're offering. That was a mind shift I needed to make in the beginning, is realizing people weren't like rejecting me as a person. You know, it's just a challenge group wasn't what they needed right then, and that's okay. And I had to realize too that a no, when they told me no, it really meant not now. Because I've had so many people join my groups later. You know, I'll extend the invite, they say no, they have time to think about it, and then they join later. So a no doesn't mean no, it just kind of means not now. Timing isn't right. Just totally fine. Which kind of extends, this is not what we're talking about, but that's why you have to be so consistent on your page and show up all the time. So when people are ready, they see that you've been consistent and you've kind of earned the right to have them in your group. You need to prove to them that you're going to be there for them. So let me open this up really quick. Okay, so whenever you start something new, it's completely normal to feel impatient with the imperfections involved with learning how to do it. So if you're anything like me, you are impatient with yourself as a new coach because there's so many things to learn and you cannot learn it all, right? And you guys, most of the time learning comes from doing. And when you're a beginner coach, you haven't really done a lot, right? Like everything's so new. So you're impatient with yourself. And with anytime you do something new, you're not going to probably do it well at first, right? So you have to be patient with yourself. And it's so easy to lose confidence in yourself in the process. So confidence isn't this mysterious thing, okay? All it is a pattern of self-belief that we develop from our experiences. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Confidence is just a pattern of self-belief we develop from our experiences, okay? Our experiences, the more positive experiences we have in the coaching process is going to instill a belief in ourselves, confidence, okay? And that only comes from doing. And that confidence has to come from consistency, okay? So we wanted to give you 5 daily choices that you can make to help increase your level of confidence. So, Lace, do you want me to start, or do you want to start, or?
No, I'll start. I'll take the first one. I want to make sure. Okay, yeah. Okay, so our very first tip for you guys, if you have a pen and paper, to go ahead and grab it out and take some notes. So our first tip is to choose to actively coach. I know, I would say probably all of us. I know I've been through this process. I know Allie's been through this. I've heard many of you say, I'll give it a try. Meaning, I'll give it a shot for a month and then take some time off and then try again and then take some time off, which then just kind of leads down into the gutter. Like it leads to not feeling confident in the process and in what's possible. And instead of attributing it to the fact that it's not a consistent coaching journey that you're on, we contribute it to that it's not, coaching isn't for us, or we're not able to do it. And so our very first tip is to choose to actively coach, because your business will be unique to you. And so your self-confidence will improve and increase as that you continue to do, just like Allie was saying. And the only way to increase your competency as a coach is to experience it and to do it over and over and over. So you need to jump in with both feet, show up every day, and treat it like a business. If you don't actively coach, if you sporadically coach, it's kind of like, deciding to do the 21-day fix, but not following the nutrition, or deciding to do hardcore or 22-minute hardcore and just working out 3 days a week. It's all great and it's not a bad thing, but you're not going to see the results that you are hoping to see if you don't actively coach every day, or within your business hours, whenever your business hours are. And so that's our very first tip, is to just jump in with both feet and actively pursue your business, actively coach, actively invite, actively work through these 4 vital behaviors, because those are there for a purpose. That is where success is going to be built upon. So that's our first tip, is to choose to actively coach, because it is a choice. Al?
Okay. Yep, the next tip is so once again, just to recap, the 5 tips we're telling you about are ways to help you increase your level of confidence. Okay, so the second tip is to choose to trust the process. Something that helped me understand this when I was a beginner coach is I was kind of comparing my ability to share my relationship with Jesus Christ, which is so easy for me to do, okay, because I have been placed in experiences in my life where I just know without a shadow of doubt that I've been lifted by him. Okay, whether you believe that or not, that doesn't matter. What I'm comparing here is my ability to share my belief in him without any fear, confidently, because I've had experience with it. So then I was like, why, when I was a beginner coach, why can I talk about my faith and my religion so easily, but when it comes to coaching, I get nervous. Like I was nervous to talk to people about coaching, the coaching opportunity, challenge groups. Even if they asked me what I was doing, it would make me nervous, because I didn't know what to say. So I was like trying to compare those two. What is different? Like, why can I share this so easily and this makes me nervous? Well, it all boiled down to my experience with that certain area. So my experience with my faith over so many years and all of the ups and downs that I've had with that instilled something in me. Not just confidence, but I knew what I was doing was right. And so with coaching, when I was a beginner coach, I didn't have that yet. I hadn't helped people yet. I didn't know if I could help people. I didn't know if they would listen to me. I didn't know if I could make a difference, right? And so in order to really gain that confidence, you have to have action for it. You have to know that you can do it. And that only comes from doing and consistency. So in the beginning, you have to choose to trust the process, because you're not going to see results right away. Just like, what, sweetie?
When are you gonna be done with your call?
A few more minutes, okay? Thank you. So you have to choose to trust the process in the beginning. I hope that analogy makes sense. So trust the process that you're going through, and you need to celebrate the growth that you're experiencing as a coach. So don't worry if it isn't perfect, or if someone appears to be doing better than you. If you signed up at the same time as a coach, that's so common for people to like, oh, well, she signed up the same time as me and she's already advanced like to 15 million star diamond or whatever, Don't be comparing your journey with someone else's. That just, comparison thief of joy, so true, don't do it. And don't stress if there is pushback or if people misunderstand your intention. In the beginning, you're still figuring out how to talk, what to say. Just trust the process. The process being following the vital behaviors that we taught you in your training, okay? The process, don't forget the bat that we gave you. That's your process, your daily process. You need to trust it. Don't let excuses, no matter how convenient they are, cheat you of your potential as a coach. Okay, just focus on the basics and keep going. It's just like the 21-day fix. Your coaching journey is just like your fitness journey. We always tell our challengers, and you've probably experienced this yourself, you're 3 days into the 21-day fix and maybe the scale's gone up, okay? Or maybe you had, I don't know, maybe you're bloated, or you don't have energy, and you're like, what's going on? Like, I'm doing all these things they're telling me to do. I don't have energy, and the scale went up. Okay, you have to trust the process, because there are reasons for those other things, right? You have to push through kind of that hard part where you're still learning. So yeah, that's step 2.
Love it. Okay, so step 3 is kind of a hard one, but also kind of one that makes sense, but a lot of times we don't do. And that is to start small. We come in with big aspirations, big intentions, I want to help so many people. And then we start seeing, the top 10, and we start seeing all of these trips, and we start seeing all of these Success Club prizes, and we're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all of it. And then a month goes by and we don't hit Success Club, and we feel defeated. And once again, feel like maybe I'm not cut out for this, or, maybe somebody, like Allie was saying, misunderstands what you're saying, or they don't respond to a post that you put up, or, you're not getting the engagement that you're wanting. And so all of a sudden we just feel defeated. And so focusing on starting small. So what I like to say is, make that big, huge, hairy, scary, make you want to throw up goal, make it, but then wrap it up in your mind and set it on a shelf, wrap it up, set it down, and then move on to reverse engineering and saying, okay, what are the little things that I can do every day that are going to add up to this big goal? Instead of just focusing on the big goal, if we only focus on, hitting Success Club 10 every single day, every day we're going to go to bed feeling like a failure. But if we focus every day on, I'm going to talk to one person today. I'm going to talk to one person today and be there for them and help them and share my journey with them. Well, then we go to bed feeling like I've succeeded. This has been a successful day. And adding those everyday little tiny, small, successful accomplishments will then add up to that big, hairy, scary goal that's wrapped up and put on your shelf. When you choose to set small goals and achieve them, these small goals yet are successful goals will inspire confidence, okay? So that's our whole focus, is achieving these little tiny goals will inspire confidence in you. So every day, set small goals for yourself as a coach and work on achieving them. But once again, remember, it's not about perfection. It's the same rule with fitness. It's the same rule with nutrition. It's the same rule with being a mom and a wife. And it's the same rule with being a coach. It's not about perfection. It's about progression. So it's about focusing on achieving those little tiny goals every day, those things that are easy to do and those things that are easy not to do, because they both add up to something, and it's up to you to decide which direction it's going to add up to. If it's going to add up to the direction of being confident in yourself and in the process and in what you have to offer, or if it's going to lead to being defeating. So that is our third tip, is to start small. Go ahead, Al.
The next tip I love, okay, choose to manage your mind. I love that phrase, choose to manage your mind. Okay? You are the gatekeeper of your mind. You decide what thoughts you allow to remain in your mind, and those thoughts manifest themselves in what you do and in your nonverbal actions, you guys. Like, your thoughts, you think maybe they just stay in your head, but they don't, right? They manifest themselves in some way. So personal development strengthens your mental immune system. I love that term too, for the negativity that surrounds all of us. Personal development, you guys, I have a friend training for a half marathon with me, and we were running today forever. It was so long, you guys. It was so long. And, when you're running, you kind of have to talk in order to pass the time. So you talk about anything and everything. And I started talking to her. She was telling me about a problem, and I started talking to her. Something that I had learned in my personal development is the importance of ownership. Like, you own your relationships. You own we were talking about relationships at the time. No matter what choice happens in a relationship, even if you don't have control over that, it's still, you choose how to react, right? That's you can't say he made me do this, she made me do this. Like, you have ownership over your reactions and your choices. So I was telling her all this, and in the middle of it, she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're like my life coach." And I was like, "No, I just read personal development," right? Like, the personal development you're doing now is going to affect so much more than just your coaching. Like, the ability to control your thoughts, that's huge, you guys, because your thoughts control your actions, right? And if you can learn to control the negativity, the bad energy that you have, like, you're going to be like just in such better care. And so personal development and managing your mind is an important step, and it's pretty easy. Because it doesn't happen quick, not easy as in it happens overnight, but easy as in all you need to do is spend like 10 minutes every day putting positive things in there, learning new stuff. It doesn't take a long time, and it goes back to consistency. And all of a sudden, like, these things start applying in different areas of your life without you even knowing it, until you're running with your friend and giving her advice, and you realize, holy crap, all that stuff I've been doing for like 2 years really has been paying off. Like, it's a big deal. So manage your mind. That's the next step.
Love it. Okay, so our fifth and final step is to then choose to challenge yourself. So once we've gone through this process of choosing to actively coach and doing it and putting it into practice consistently, in choosing to trust the process, whether it feels so slow, whether it goes quick, no matter what the time length is, as we trust the process. As we start small and break down those big goals into small manageable goals, and then as you learn to choose to manage your mindset, the last thing you'll then come into is you've increased confidence. You're then are like, you know what? I'm good at what I do. Like, I can make a difference, and I like what I'm doing. And yeah, it doesn't mean that there aren't bad days, and there aren't still no's, and there aren't still hard things, and there aren't still coaches that quit, and people that don't follow through. And like it doesn't mean that all those still don't exist, because they do. It just means that the sting isn't quite so intense, and because that confidence has increased. And so once you find yourself there with a little more sure footing, the next step is then to start this process again in choosing to challenge yourself. So as you gain this confidence, you need to use that confidence to then push yourself to do even better. To continue to grow and progress is key in continuing to grow your confidence, because confidence isn't just a resource that stays. It's something that continually needs to be renewed. It's not a one-stop shop, done, have it, hang it on the wall, done. It's something that we continually need to renew every day. It's the same as finishing a program. You finish 21 Day Fix, you finish Hammer and Chisel, you finish Chalene Extreme. It doesn't mean, okay, check, I'm done. Like, I've reached my goal. It doesn't mean that we then walk away and stop. It means that we then say, okay, let me redefine my goals and let me find a new one, and continue to push outside of my comfort zone and continue to increase that confidence. So that is our fifth tip for you, is to then use your confidence to choose to challenge yourself, to just push a little bit further, to be, as Chalene Johnson says, comfortably uncomfortable. Because that is when, this process, it's like a circle. It will then continue to roll forward and go over and over and over and repeat itself, but will continue to stretch you further and further and further and build you up. Not only in coaching, but in, like Allie was saying, all aspects of our lives. And so it's basically, we pretty much learn the same lesson in life over and over and over, just in different situations. And that's the same with this confidence cycle, where it's the same lesson, the same principles, the same actions, just applied in different situations. And so that is what we really wanted to share with you tonight, because we have seen how critical building confidence is, not only in your challengers, but in yourself. Because there are days that you're going to want to just quit and walk away and never look at anything Beachbody related again. I can't tell you how many times I've called Allie and said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing this. This isn't working. And she talks me off the ledge and makes me realize that I'm being ridiculous. But it really comes down to finding confidence in your own skin. And it's a slow process, but it's an exciting one, because every single step counts and every single step matters. And every single step builds upon each other, and will then seep into all areas of your life. So that's what we really wanted to share with you guys tonight, because we know how difficult coaching and how exciting and everything coaching could be. Allie, did you have anything else to say before we turn it over for questions?
Just one thing keeps rolling over in my mind. There was a word I was searching for when I was trying to give you the analogy with my faith versus coaching, and the word that I was not able to recall, but I can now, is conviction. I'm to the point now in my coaching journey where I can say, I know I'm helping people. I know these challengers in my group are going to see a difference if they apply themselves. I know I'm making a difference. Whereas in the beginning, I was like, I hope I will. I don't know, because I haven't done it yet. I hope I can. I think maybe I can, but I'm not quite sure. And the conviction that you want when you're I know I'm making a difference, that only comes from consistency, from doing what you're scared to do. You need to see results, and then that conviction comes. So you're consistent, all of a sudden, your challengers start seeing changes, and you're becoming more convicted in what you're doing. Oh, wow, I am making a difference. Okay. So you're consistent. And then all of a sudden the conviction starts coming, conviction. And then all of a sudden the confidence starts coming. Okay. And so that's, if you're reversing it then, okay, if I want to be confident, okay, well, I need to be convicted. I need to reach that point where I can say, I know I'm making a difference. And in order to get there, you have to be consistent. Okay. So that's just an example of moving backwards in your goals. What's that word? Retroactively working on your goals.
Reverse engineering. Thank you. And it all comes down to consistency, which is what we talk about all the time, right? But it's just so important. So anyway, that's the last thing I wanted to say. Are there any questions? We've been talking a lot this call.
Unmute. what if your life is so boring and you have nothing to post? I mean, I don't lead an exciting life. So, I mean, I clean houses, so I could post while I'm cleaning the toilet. But, I mean, that's what I do. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what to post.
Everybody feels that way. When they sign as a have an exciting life. Like I just drive diapers, and I don't even now. I don't have an exciting life. And I think the thing that appeals to people is that nobody's life is really that exciting, right? What appeals to people is just seeing reality. What draws us all together and connects us is a common goal. And so I think just so yeah, if you are, then you can find a way to craft a post around that. And it comes to trial and error. We on post ideas. I have to look back through our thread and try to find it, but that's a good brain different posting topics. But I understand what you're saying, feeling like your life is totally unexciting, because I still feel that way. I just get a way to post around it. And the more you, I love the phrase Lacey came up with. She says she now thinks of her life in posts. You know, once you start doing it long enough, like something will happen and you're like, oh, that would make a good post. Like,
Yeah.
So anyway, that probably doesn't help you come up with actual tangible ideas, but know that you're not alone.
No, I mean, it's you know, I don't want to be so overbearing and so, silly about my posts. I want them to be, informative and, silly, but serious and just the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
Insightful, but, I don't know.
Well,
I just didn't know what to post.
remember you're posting, like the purpose of your posting is so people can get to know you. So they can get to know what your life is and trust you. So those posts that are informative or inspirational are important because they give people something to want to come back to. But also those posts that are just your life and are just you and maybe like what you're thinking about when you're scrubbing the toilet. Or, like maybe why you chose a certain pair of shoes to wear that day. Or, like anything like that. Like today I took a picture when I walked into Target and I was like telling myself, like, keep walking. Like, don't stop at the dollar spot. Like, just keep walking, Lacey. Like, you're not, that you did not come in for this. And sure enough, I like walked right to the dollar spot. And I was like, I should take a picture of this. Took a picture, posted. Does anybody else have the hardest time like walking away from the dollar spot at Target? So I mean, it wasn't anything like special or informative or funny or anything. It was simply like my life and something that I do often that allows people to see like, oh, like she's the same as I am, like I like to do that too. And so anything that can give insight into your life is great. If you think it's boring, it will allow people to see you and what you do and who you are. So
okay. I do have one more question. I signed up for to do Pampered Chef also. Can I intertwine that with my Beachbody? Like when I'm prepping, do videos.
You can. The Beachbody's stance on other network marketing companies, you can be like with Pampered Chef if you're with them for the discount, but you cannot be actively selling Pampered Chef and
I can't.
Beachbody products. They just barely released that like a month or two ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So hey buddy, just a minute, okay? So as far as selling the items together, I would probably say to avoid that, just because they came out with that statement recently. But yeah.
So I can't, I mean, I've already did it. I've got my kit coming and everything. So I can't do that.
You know, you probably want to text Stacy or message Stacy and just tell her how involved you are.
I did. She wasn't for sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, I won't do it because I didn't even think about that on, conflict of interest,
Right.
sort of thing.
Right.
So, but, I just love prepping, and I thought their stuff is really good. So I thought, well, I could do that,
Right.
because
Yeah. I see what you're saying for sure. Like I don't really like what they came out with, especially in items that go together so well like that. Like it's supposed to prohibit people from like poaching other people's downlines. Like that's the reason they do that, or they've set that.
yeah, I won't even do Pampered Chef as far as when I'm doing my Beachbody. So I won't even mention it. Is that okay?
You can mention it and you can use the product. That's fine. Like you can still be using the product in your video and stuff like that. I just wouldn't actively sell it. Like
Oh, okay. Okay. Like, go to one of the coaches and ask them to buy something. Is that what you mean?
yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
And if I wouldn't say like, if you want to buy this, message me for my link or whatever. If you want to buy this Pampered Chef item, message me for my link or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Go separately, but
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just didn't want to break any rules, but I really like their product and I really like prepping.
Yeah.
And I thought, that their stuff would be easier for me to prep.
Yeah, you'll
And
still use it. You can for sure still use it. And
okay.
like, buddy, go shower. Go jump in the shower.
Okay, I'm going to unmute Leon. Hey, Leon, I unmuted you. Do you have any questions or anything?
I don't think so. Other than I felt like that was like totally directed at me.
You know what? I think that everybody hears what they need to hear. When Allie and I were talking about what do we even talk about tonight for our call, we knew that we were going to have newer coaches and beginning, and we kind of went back to how we remember feeling when we were new coaches and hurdles that we stumbled upon. So I'm glad that you heard what you needed to hear.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. That's awesome.
For sure.
Good. Okay, well, Erin's still muted.
But no, I don't.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but no, I don't think I have anything at this point. I just made lots and lots of notes. If only you could see me. I have like 2 pages of notes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Love it. Okay, cool. Hey, Erin, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you have anything to add or ask or anything?
No, it was good. Coach, as a coach that's been here a while, it's always good to get those, when you break it down back to basics, it's always good. So I needed to hear it too.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. It's always so nice to have people here to talk to and to work with. And so I'm so glad that there was no technical difficulties today. And thank you for making it at a early time. That really helped me out a lot. So have a fantastic night, guys. I know that we're here if you need anything. Never hesitate to reach out. So have a good night, guys.
Bye.